Hey, what's up, guys? We are back by popular demand again for part 3 with Sam, the KDP expert. Sam, thanks for being here again, man.
No worries at all. Thanks again for having me back.
Yeah, so we were just talking in part 2, trying to give like a more in-depth tutorial about the steps it takes to publish not just any book, but like books that have a reasonable expectation to make sales on Amazon. But we did also mention the caveat that in 2022 and beyond, if we're being realistic, we're probably going to need to let's say grease Amazon's pockets, aka pay them for visibility by running some ads,
Yeah.
regardless of if it's KDP or selling T-shirts or whatever the heck it is. So, do you want to? I kind of take it from here and give us a tutorial on your process for running KDP ads.
Yeah, I think the most important thing to start off with is there's definitely a right time to start ads. I think I mentioned it in one of the previous videos. It's very easy to start your KDP and then just jump straight into ads because you see people succeeding with it. But from my experience, I think it's very important to treat your ads as kind of a nice to have on top of your kind of your KDP foundations rather than jumping straight away. Because if I'm assuming your first few books on KDP, like mine were, aren't going to be very good. Doesn't matter how much you put into ads. If your book's not very good, it's not going to sell. So you don't want to be wasting your time and your money on books that aren't very good. So definitely, there's a time and a place for jumping into ads. I think once you've got a couple of books that are consistently selling well for you, you know that there's an organic demand there, and you can. If people are buying it organically, they're also going to buy it through paid ads, and it's at that point where you actually just focus on those specific books and go for, okay, they're making say 2 or 3 sales a day. You can turn that into 5, 6, or 7 with ads, rather than seeing a book as, oh, it's making no sales, I need to do ads on this, and then realizing it's not going to do anything. If it's not selling organically, it's probably not going to sell through ads. So just focus your ads specifically on the right books that are actually already selling. That's definitely a first tip.
Dude, I just want to say that I love that tip because that's something that I used to say and I still say. But by the way, sorry if you can hear the dogs in the background barking. Can you hear them?
I can quietly.
Okay, sorry about that. But I always said that yes, like your time is money, and you have to decide if you're going to make more money, run like setting up ads, which takes time, or creating new books. And it also just reminded me of like one quick tip that kind of piggybacks off of your suggestion, which is that you can go to your like author page, or like if you publish under the same pen name, like you can go to that page and sort by I think reviews.
Mhm.
And if you do that, that's also like a nice way, because like for me, I have a ton of books, you know what I mean? But if I just need a quick way of finding like what books maybe I should start with like running ads to, I can go do that. And then I've got a list basically in order of all my books with reviews, which
Yeah.
would be a great place to start with running ads. So I really like that tip.
Yeah, so reviews is an extra level on top of sales. If it's selling, great. If it's got reviews on it as well, even better.
Yeah. So when you start running ads, what type of ad unit do you start with?
So again, the dogs are having a great time in the background. I can hear.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I can like close the door.
No,
Why don't you just keep
no,
talking?
no,
I'll close the door.
I'm honestly. Yeah,
All
so
right.
I think similarly to what I said about just general KDP is get to know the simple stuff first before you delve deeper into the more complicated and potentially expensive stuff. So in terms of what that means with ads is you've got your 3 different types of ads. You've got your product based ads where you compete against, you advertise against other products. You've got your keyword stuff, which is your advertise against specific keywords, and then you've got your auto ads. And auto ads are kind of a merge of the two. Amazon does a lot of the legwork for you. You don't really do a huge amount, but it's a good place to start and kind of learn with PPC campaigns what actually happens. And there's a lot of things and different metrics that interact with advertising on Amazon. So an auto ad's a great place where Amazon do a lot of the legwork for you, and then you can focus your time on understanding exactly what's going on. So I would definitely say start with an auto ad for your book, which for those that don't already know, basically means all you have to do is put a default bid in on Amazon, and Amazon will look at your book, look at the specific keywords in the title and the keywords you put in your keyword boxes, and then kind of run ads against that. So as an example, if I had a book that was called, I don't know, like we touched on the previous episode, drinking water habit tracker. Amazon will look at that title and know it's a book about habits and drinking water. So you might see Amazon placing your ads against other habit tracker related stuff, anything to do with water consumption. So it's kind of clever in the way it knows, but that's why it's really important if you're running auto ads. And I did a thread on Twitter on this the other day because it's difficult to remember everything in one. It's good to kind of be able to follow along. But if you are doing auto ads, you need to make sure that your keywords are right. If you've got a water habit tracker, but you're going for keywords like football book or something general, your ad is going to put your water habit tracker book against football books or anything else that your keywords are related for. And people who are searching for football books aren't really going to buy your water habit tracker. So yeah, definitely make sure before you do any sort of advertising, your keywords in your book are all specific towards the kind of book you're doing, because that's what Amazon will use to put your book against other products. So that's a really, really important one.
That's a great call. And then also I wanted to ask, like, would you just do auto campaign right away, or like when you feel it's justified, and then wait before doing a manual campaign for the auto campaign to generate some keywords that are converting? Or would you kind of like also then take time to set up a manual campaign?
So what I did, I don't think there's any hard and fast rule with it. Kind of do whatever kind of works for you. But for me, I start with the auto ad, set it with quite a low bid. So in my eyes, a low bid is anything around kind of 25p, whatever that is in US dollars. I think it's around 40 cents in US dollars. Start low. That means your ad won't spend loads. It will only start at relatively low bids. You'll keep it nice and condensed, and then you'll still be able to get clicks and things like that. And also any sort of click is going to be quite cheap for you. So I'm going to assume we have a book that you're selling for £6.99, that you've got less than 100 pages. So a book that sells at £6.99, you'll get £2.49 royalty for that. So that's kind of the number you want to be looking at for your auto ad. So let's just say it's £2.50 for simplicity, and you have a 25p bid. Every time someone clicks on your ad, it's going to cost you 25p to do that. So with your auto ad, you've essentially got 10 different rolls of the dice or 10 different clicks that people can make. And if none of them make a purchase, you spent £2.50, which is your 10 times 25p clicks. And at that point, that ad is unprofitable because you've spent £2.50 and a sale gets you £2.49 back. So at that point, you need to be aware that it's unprofitable. In an ideal world, you'd get a sale within those first 10 clicks, and therefore you know that your ad is profitable then. Generally, my kind of rule I went with is if you're spending double what your royalty would be on a book and not getting any ads, then you stop the ad. It's not working. It's not profitable. Either your book isn't good enough, the keywords aren't specific enough. But that kind of rule is what I use. So if it's a book that I get £2.49 for selling, if my ad spends £5 and I haven't made any sales from it, at that point I would cut the ad off.
Yeah, that's great that you have some rules, man. And then I've also, like, I'm at some point gonna be doing more advertising talk on my channel about a couple of tools, like 2 of them that I know have been in like heavy development in 2022, that can like automate kind of the execution of these rules you're describing.
Yeah.
So yes, that's always nice when you're not having to be in there like every single day, across 100 books or 1,000 books, or whatever it is.
I think on that with auto ads as well, it's important to remember that the ad kind of gets smarter the longer it goes on for. It will learn what keywords are converting, which ones aren't. So the longer you have an auto ad running, which is why I always say give it 2 times the potential royalty you might get, because if it spent £2.50 and it has no sales, it might just not be smart enough yet, or had enough time to test the words that work and the ones that don't. So give it twice, and then eventually your ad will get smarter, and you can essentially, you need to give it time. So give it time for it to learn. So what I would do is I'd set the auto ad and give it at least 14 days. I won't touch it. And if you've got a low bid, it's unlikely you'll spend over the money that you set aside for it in 14 days. But at least in that 14 days, you've given it a chance to run. People can see it. People can click it. Your ad can learn what keywords are working, which ones aren't. And then from there, you can, depending on what the ad's doing, either stop it, make changes to it. I mean, that's a whole deeper conversation if it needs to be, or potentially go from your auto ad what keywords are working, what products are working, and then from there use those words that are working into a manual ad, and that's how you really scale up from there. So you kind of use I kind of use my auto ads as a harvest your keywords. If I can keep an auto ad at break even or slightly unprofitable, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It all depends on your ad strategy. But if you're generating keywords that are profitable for a manual campaign, then you can probably get away with having a slightly unprofitable auto ad. You just need to work out what the role of the auto ad is in your Amazon campaign strategy.
That's great advice, man. Yeah. And I did just want to touch on too, like what you're saying about the auto campaign. It takes time to learn, and keep in mind, like to everybody watching, like Amazon doesn't want to show products that aren't relevant to someone's search to them. You know what I mean? So it's in Amazon's best interest as well to not be showing your product on keywords that aren't performing. So they'll figure it out as well. But that doesn't also mean that you should just like not check your auto campaigns, because they'll find a way to spend your money too. I just did a video yesterday. I released it today, actually, the day of us recording this, and was talking about just the crazy numbers Amazon has done, including Amazon's advertising growing year over year through 2021 by like 32%. Or
really?
Wait, no, was it 30? I think it was 32%, man. It was something absurd. Or did it triple? Oh man, it was too many. There was like 15 things. I'll send you the article after this though. It was absolutely absurd, man, how much their advertising had grown. And it's like, it was like a $32 billion a year thing.
Yeah, because obviously they make money through selling products, but us who are selling products on Amazon, they're making money from us because they take a margin and they're getting all of our ad spend. So I'd love to know how much Amazon are actually making from ads. It must be. But
yeah, look at this. So 31 billion in 2021, man. So absolutely absurd. And growth rate of 32%. That's what it was. So they made 31 billion. The growth rate was 32%. So it's just like, that is crazy, man. Crazy.
I think that kind of leads into a good point, is when you're looking at your ads, it's very important not to look at it as raw money spent. It's, if you spend a lot of money, that's fine. You should look at it more of a return on your investment. So it doesn't matter if you spend £10 and that's more than the £5 you wanted to spend. Ultimately, if it's £10 that's giving you an investment, then that's kind of what you have to look at it for. It does depend on how much money you have to spend in your budget, but don't take the raw numbers as a good thing or a bad thing. The main thing you want to be looking for is a return on your investment, because that's essentially what ads are. You're investing in the ads to potentially get something back. So your ACOS, which is your cost of sale, is the main metric to look for there. That will tell you how profitable your ad is, and that's the one you want to keep your eyes on. If you've got an ad that's got a really low ACOS, but it's spending £1 a month, like great, it's a profitable ad, but it's not spending anything. It's not really doing anything for you. Likewise, you've got a lot of spend on your ad, but the ACOS is really high. Again, it's spending a lot of money, but it's not that profitable. You want to find that fine medium in between the two, where you've got a relatively low ACOS that is still spending, so it's profitable, but it's actually still driving you sales, rather than just being profitable and not doing a lot for you. So that's where the bids come in, basically.
Yeah, that's great advice, man. And like, so I know you have to go really soon, but how much did you say profit wise? Like, let's say we're selling a book at $6.99. How much profit did you say we get? Like $2.50 about?
Yeah, it's £2.49 if you've got it under 108 pages, which is what I do. I think. So
let's do 2.49 divided by 6.99. So that means that if your ACOS is, ACOS, if you sell the book at, sell at, and this is in pound sterling, right? Yeah, sell at 6.99 equals 2.49 profit. ACOS break even is 35.6%. So hopefully, guys, what we're saying makes sense. This is why, follow Sam on Twitter, by the way, because he's putting out like tons of amazing free content. Follow me on YouTube. Hopefully, you guys already are. And we'll probably each be talking more in depth about these things.
Yeah. So is that ACOS? That for me, that 36% is the golden number. That's your break even margin, and then if it's higher, it doesn't necessarily mean it's too bad, as long as it's within a reasonable distance to it. But you do also, with ads, it's really important to remember, is you have to pay, I don't know what it is in the US, it's definitely in the UK, we have to pay 20% VAT on top of the ad. So actually the break-even ACOS, the actual break-even ACOS is actually lower than that. So me, as a general rule, I'll just do about 30% is my break-even, because in theory it's 36%, but we have to pay VAT on top of that, which Amazon sneakily don't really tell you in any of the metrics, but it's something you do have to take into account. But anything around that break even sort of point is where you want to be aiming for, as long as you're getting these keywords coming through that you can then put into a manual ad that can be much more profitable. That's really important to remember.
Yeah. So guys, you're working towards getting like really well optimized manual ads is really the end goal. Cause that's, you know, that's where you're like, you have your gold mine, high value keywords. You find that sweet spot in your bids. Like you can kind of adjust until you find like where you're comfortable with the spend and you're seeing good return. And that's the sweet spot. That's where you want to be. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. And like, you know, this is what it's an evolving process. You always want to be in there like monitoring, because you don't want to have your competition outbid you and then all of a sudden start overtaking your, you know, your organic rank. Because keep in mind too, when you're advertising and you're converting people, guys, whether it's manual or auto campaigns, this is also increasing organic rank with each sale. And those numbers that you get from organic sales will not roll up into your advertised sales. So you kind of just have to have faith that it's working, and that you're going to see like long-term reward for what you do.
I think just jumping in, I think if someone hasn't done any sort of advertising on Amazon, this might be quite daunting. One thing I would say is don't worry about it. Focus on your auto ads and you will naturally learn all the metrics. I had no idea. I'd never advertised on anything before. Once you just stick to your auto ads, just focus purely on that, and naturally you will understand when the right time is to go into manual ads. You'll learn how the metrics interact, what sort of numbers to look for. Literally don't worry about having to know it all. You're not going to know it all at the start. You'll just learn as you go along. Stick with your simple auto ads, and then everything else will come naturally at the right time. So yeah, just don't panic when you see all of that loads of different numbers on the screen there. Stick to your auto ads and you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's a great place to start. I mean, at a minimum too, like it sucks with KDP. You can't do the like bulk auto campaign that you can do with everywhere else, but maybe one day we'll be able to do that. But definitely great advice. And one thing we didn't mention is how to actually get to where you can run an ad in KDP. So do you just want to briefly say that, and then I'll let you go, because I know you are.
So there's two ways. I think just type in the web address is advertising.amazon.com, but if you just type in Google KDP advertising, it will be the top link there. Or if you go on your actual KDP dashboard, you've got loads of different options with your books. You can just press promote book and that will take you directly through to the advertising thing. But Google's your best bet. Do it through there, and you do have to create an account. From what I remember, it's pretty straightforward.
And I think most people will probably do the like go to the bookshelf and click. You just mouse over the dots and click promote book the first time you guys want to set up an ad, and that's going to be probably like where you'll want to go. All right, hey Sam, thank you so much for being here, man. Honestly, this format works really well because you know what you're talking about, and then I can just kind of let you go and maybe like show something on the screen share and kind of elaborate after. It's great.
No, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, I really appreciate you being here, and definitely, I'm sure like. Guys, let us know what your thoughts and questions in the comments below. And if you want me to have Sam back in the future, I'm sure you have questions. So maybe I'll just keep a list and then you come back for part 4 at some point, answer the questions. I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say, if we do a part 4, it'd be good to have specific questions people have asked that we can actually tailor the stuff to them. So if they have any issues,
we can go live, dude. I mean, if you want to, I don't know. I'm not putting you on the spot or anything, but
either or, we can do live, or if they want to put stuff in the comments, we can at least touch on stuff that people are specifically asking for. So yeah, sounds good to me.
Cool. All right, I really appreciate it. I'm gonna wrap this up because I know you got to go, but thanks again for being here.
Yeah, no worries at all. Again, thanks for having me.